What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 16. So when the episode begins, we see Candy taking Ace to an acting audition. So I guess she's trying to rear her son into the entertainment world, which is fine, I guess. But a lot of people who are already in the entertainment world would not want their children to go through the same thing, to want to do the same thing, because the entertainment world is a very ugly, dark, treacherous world. And yeah. But when I see Ace, I don't really see like entertainer. That's not really what screams out to me. I see him as a very intelligent little boy, extremely intelligent. And I see him being more like an academic, more so than an entertainer. But maybe she sees something in him that we haven't seen yet, and hopefully we'll see it when he does get his first acting gig. He didn't do bad at his audition, but it's just he doesn't just scream entertainer to me. Like some kids, they just kind of have it. And they're just kind of like out the womb. They're ready to entertain, make you laugh, sing, dance, act, whatever. And I really don't see that with Ace. I just see him more like growing up to be like a very smart academic type of person. Moving on from there. So Drew just had surgery on her Achilles heel. Sheree and Sonia come over to see how she's doing. Because Drew was not at that last dinner in Jamaica, they fill her in about what happened. And Sonia tells them that, Kenya basically chewed her up and spit her out, which is exactly what happened. Sonia was not prepared to go toe to toe. She's never prepared to go toe to toe with Kenya. Every single time she tries to have a conversation with Kenya about how Kenya has been treating her, Kenya completely blows her off. Kenya just does not have any time. Sonia is like a little chihuahua that's just yapping around a really big dog. And the big dog is just kind of like looking at the little chihuahua like, get away from me. What the hell do you want? And that's how I see it. Sonya's constantly running around, spinning her wheels, trying to act like she can really put Kenya in her place, and it fails each and every single time. So Sonya, leave Kenya alone until you can, come back with a better plan on how you're going to handle her. Just please leave her alone, because it's just every time it doesn't look good. She completely blows off Sonya, or she changes the subject and makes it about something else. And Sonya always just ends up frustrated. So Sheree takes this opportunity to tell Sonya that Kenya told her that she felt threatened by Sonya's husband, Ross. When Ross had gotten up at the table, I think it was her first night there, or their second night there, when Ross had gotten up at the table and told Sheree and Kenya to leave it to what did he say? To leave his wife alone, and this is my effing wife, leave her alone, or whatever he said, to shut them up, because they were like going at her. They were like basically attacking Sonya about Sonya not giving them a call and reminding them and sending a car for them to take them to her iFit video shoot. So Ross decided to put an end to it, and put an end to it he did, because they sure did shut up after he got up. So Sonya, of course, didn't like that. She's like, she referred to my husband as aggressive. And so she calls Kenya, expeditiously calls Kenya, and tells Kenya, hey, Sheree just told me that you referred to my husband as being aggressive. And you cannot use that term when you're referring to a black man, because it's got some very negative connotations to that. So you just can't do that. So Kenya basically just okayed Sonya right off the phone. Kenya was like, okay, girl. Okay. Are you serious? Okay, girl. Whatever. Okay. Okay. And that was the end of the conversation. And when the conversation ended, Sonya was so upset that she called Kenya a bitch. She was so frustrated with her. Sonya, look. Kenya's been in the game for a very long time. I don't know if Kenya was born like this, or if being on a reality TV show has made her like this, or, dealing with her family, not having a mom has just made her like this way. I don't know what it is, but you cannot expect to go toe to toe with Kenya when you don't even really understand the dynamics of what makes Kenya the way she is, and you don't have that much experience with her. Marlo can do it. Candy can do it. The people who worked with her for the past 15 years or whatever, they understand her and they know how to do it. Sonya, you don't. You just don't. Go back to the drawing room, watch some videos of Kenya and whoever else, going at it, take some notes, and then come back and revisit the whole issue of trying to put Kenya in her place. Moving on, Sheree. She meets up with her fashion coordinator, and she also invites Kenya. So as soon as Kenya shows up, Kenya does what Kenya does. She wants to completely take over everything. She's criticizing everything. She's bombarding everybody. She's throwing out ideas all over the place. And so the fashion coordinator and Kenya, they immediately butt heads, right? So then it comes to the question of the casting call for the models. The fashion coordinator said, well, we kept it really low key for respect, or out of respect for Sheree. We kept the casting call very low key. And Kenya was like, what do you mean keeping it low key? You need as many models here as possible. And then Kenya said, we also need professional models. And so the fashion coordinator was like, well, we don't have a professional model budget, so we're doing the best we can with what we have. It was just a big mess. The models that showed up, they were fine. Sheree could use those models. This is not Dolce & Gabbana. This is not a Prada fashion show. So the models that she had were fine. Even though they didn't meet the height requirement, they were just fine. Girl, pick your models. Make sure that your designs come in on time, and let's do this. Let's not make this a bigger deal than what it is. Sheree has put so much pressure on herself that I think she is getting in the way of herself. Like, she's not even thinking clearly. She's not getting any sleep. She's stressed out. She's making this bigger than what it is. Okay, so many people have put together fashion shows. Okay, they may not be the most professional. They may not be the best. You're not going to see their work in Milan or Paris, but they're able to throw something together. And Sheree, you can throw something together. I understand you feel like this is your big comeback of all comebacks, but girl, it's just a fashion show. Okay, you just want to put some clothes on some models and have them walk single file down some type of a runway. Oh, that's another thing that Kenya complained about. When they were doing the audition, she was like, where's the runway? Where are they supposed to be walking? Why are we facing this way, not facing that way? I feel like Sheree should have just had Kenya do it. I think Sheree should have just had. And if Kenya had the best intentions, and that's the operative word right there, if Kenya had the best intentions for Sheree, then I feel like Sheree should have had Kenya do it. Moving on from that, Drew. So Ralph is having a photo shoot for his book, and Drew's there, and Drew's mother is there as well. I guess Drew has read the book. Ralph has allowed her to read the book, or a part of the book, because he's not finished with it yet. And she's agreed to write the foreword, so I guess she likes what she's read so far. So then the question comes up again about why isn't Ralph adopting Josiah? And Ralph explained. First of all, he said, I want Josiah to make that decision if he wants me to even adopt him. The second reason, he spoke with the father, Josiah's biological father, and the bio dad, I guess, according to Ralph, said he wasn't too cool on Ralph adopting his kid because he wants to play more of a role in Josiah's life. To me, those are very valid reasons. But the mom was like, well, she kind of was like real critical about it. She's like, I don't understand why you say you're going to do one thing, but now you're doing something else. You're going to adopt them. Now you're not. Okay, what am I missing? What the hell am I missing? He talked to the biological father, and I don't know why Drew doesn't back him up on this, unless, Drew can pick up the phone or do whatever she's got and talk to to the biological father and say, hey, I wanted my husband to adopt Josiah. Do you have a problem with that? And just hear it from the horse's mouth. Hear it directly from the biological father himself. Say, yes, I have a problem with it, or no, I don't have a problem with it. Instead of allowing people to constantly attack your husband because he's no longer going to be adopting Josiah. And, Drew tries to say, hey, it doesn't matter if I adopt him or not. Nothing's going to change. He's still my son. I'm still his dad. Our relationship is not going to change at all whatsoever. I don't know why they keep on attacking this man, because I feel like it's totally legit. If it's true, it's totally legit that the father may not want, the biological father doesn't want to give up his rights to his son. And I think for some men, they kind of take that as like a pride thing. Like, that's my son and I have rights to him. Whether he's involved with Josiah or not, he's going to be like, you ain't taking away my rights. You're not going to terminate my rights to my child, my son. Just like a pride thing, like a manly pride thing of this is his son and he still has rights to him and no one's going to take those rights away. Okay, fine. That's his prerogative. He can decide not to do that, whatever. I just don't understand why people keep giving Ralph a hard time about him changing his mind after he spoke to the dad. Maybe, Drew, you shouldn't have tried to force your son and the biological father together. trying to bring that man back into your son's life. Maybe Ralph would have adopted him if you just would have left that man wherever the hell he was in the shadows for all these years. Moving on. Marlo's nephews are back with her. I guess the 30 days are up. The boys are back. I think she's going to be a little bit more stricter with her rules and regulations in her home, which is fine. I think Marlo is good for the boys because she has the money to properly take care of them. She has the need, the want, and the love for her nephews. So I think Marlo is good for her nephews as long as she's consistent with it and understands that this is not a part-time thing. You don't give up halfway. You don't take breaks, okay, from raising children. It's round the clock until they're able to, leave your home and be independent and live on their own. And even then, the job still ain't over. So, excuse me, as long as she can get the support that she needs when the times get tough, because the times will get tough. These are hormonal teenagers. They're boys. Hormones are racing through their veins. They got a lot of attitude. They're going to want to challenge. They're going to want to be rebellious. They're going to want to, test the line. They're going to want to do all of that. Okay. And on top of them being just typical teenagers with all of the typical teenager issues, they're dealing with a mother who has some serious problems. So it's going to be tough, Marlo. It is going to be tough. Just make sure that you have the proper support system to help you when you get into that moment where you're like, I can't do this anymore. You can, you will just push through and have a good support system. Where are we at now? So Drew has planned a dual surprise birthday party for both Kenya and Marlo. So she invites everybody. She's also able to get like long lost friends, long lost relatives for the two women, their best friends, their best play cousins. I mean, she got everybody there, right? So Marlo and Kenya end up showing up at the same time, and Kenya gets to the door. She gets to the door first, and she doesn't even bother to hold the door open for Marlo. I said Kenya, they both arrived at the same time, but Kenya got to the door first, and she let the door close in Marlo's face. Oh my God, the pettiness just never ends with Kenya. Anyways, so while she's at the party, Sheree gets the call from her her assistant, and they tell her that the pieces are stuck in Alaska. The pieces are not there. So Sheree's in panic mode. Sheree, I think these things are happening because you're putting out a lot of stress in the universe. And I understand why you're stressed because, like I said, you feel like this is your big comeback moment. But don't look at it that way. Just try to look at it. Oh, it's no big deal. I got some clothes. I got a couple of models. Put the clothes on the models and let's do this. Just look at it that way instead of like the fashion show of the year, the fashion show of the century. Everybody's going to be watching. Everybody's going to be. Anyways, you're going to just stress her out for no. You're going to get a stroke and a heart attack for no reason. So they all sit at the table now for dinner, and everyone tells Kenya and Marlo they should just make up. They have more in common than they know. They used to be really good friends. Let's just get back to that place. Let's just get back to being friends. Kenya and Marlo, they start fighting. It turns into, well, you said this to me, and this is when it started, when you did that to me, and you did this, and you did that. They're going back years and years and years of what everybody did to everybody else. And so the ladies are like, everybody else at the table is like, you know what, just shut the hell up. It's not going to work tonight. Just shut the hell up. Sheree starts passing out the invitations for her fashion show. And as much money as she had put in those invitations, because I'm thinking, that wasn't very cheap. Evidently, she's got the money. She said she spent $1 million already, according to her. She's already spent $1 million on this fashion show. She's passing out expensive invitations. She's got the damn money. So I don't know. So Candy asks her, how many pieces do you already have? And Sheree says she has no pieces. I don't have any pieces right now. And then somebody asked her, how many people are you inviting? And she said 100 people. And so everybody's like completely shocked. They're like, oh my God, 100 people, no fashions. Is this going to be a repeat of the previous fashion show from years ago? I think Sheree's going to be fine. I think that the producers are just, they just want us to think that it's going to be a disaster so they can have, as many people watching as possible on the day of the event. But I think Sheree is going to be just fine. There is no way in hell that Sheree is going to have another fashion show with no fashion. I refuse to believe that. Sheree later on meets up with Apollo. So when they were teasing us on who this mysterious gentleman was that was meeting up with Sheree, I thought it was going to be Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville, because from the back it looked like, a short man dressed well. So I automatically thought that it was going to be Martell Holt. Well, lo and behold, it's not Martell, it's Apollo Nita, Phaedra's ex-husband, right? And so Sheree tells us that her and Apollo have always kept in touch, they're really good friends, so on and so forth. I think it's probably more so because Tyrone and Apollo were in the same facility together at one time. So Sheree asked Apollo if he would want to be in her fashion show. I think he said yes. Apollo then says that when he was released from prison, Phaedra just left him out in the cold. Phaedra did nothing for him. And so he's like really bitter about that, can't see his children. The whole subject of Apollo and Phaedra is a very touchy subject for me, because in the very beginning, when Phaedra first came on the show, like I don't know how many years ago, before she even got with Apollo, I liked Phaedra. She was my favorite cast member. I really liked her. And then when she got with Apollo, and then when she and Apollo were going through their problems, I felt really bad for Phaedra, because I thought Apollo, the way he talked to her, I didn't like it at all. When they were having those major issues in their marriage, I did not like how Apollo would talk to her, how he would treat her. I hated it. So I lost favor with Phaedra when, she did the whole Dungeon Gate thing with Carlos King and Portia. So I lost all respect for Phaedra at that time. And then I never understood why she would choose an ex-con to marry and have children with, and then complain that he didn't live up to her expectations. Like, that whole thing was a mystery to me. Like, Phaedra, you were an attorney. You're an accomplished attorney. Why in the world would you marry an ex-con? Okay, why in the world would you even want to have anything to do with an ex-con as far as like, anything romantic? Then you marry him, and then you decide that he's going to father your child, not once but twice. Like, I didn't understand that. I mean, like, Phaedra, your decision-making skills were so poor. It made no sense to me. The problem wasn't even that he was an ex-con, because you can be an ex-con, come back into society, and, be productive and be a better person and learn your lesson and want to help others and try to keep other people from ending up the way you ended up. It's not even that. It's just the fact that he was an ex-con. He was a repeat offender. Anyways, I don't like talking about Phaedra and Apollo, because it puts them in a really bad place. It makes me so angry, that an intelligent, accomplished woman made some very horrible decisions. And now you have two sons who you try so hard, it seems like, to keep away from their father. So anyways, moving on. So Sheree then tells Apollo that Tyrone's been calling her, texting her, whatever. I don't know why. I don't know if he's trying to get back with her. I don't know if he wants money from her. I have no idea. If he's calling from his own phone, Sheree, I hope he blocked him. If he's calling you from other numbers, as soon as you hear his voice, I hope that you hang up the phone and then block the number. Sheree, you don't have time to worry about Tyrone. You have zero time to worry about Tyrone. He stood you up. He wasn't good to you. You have zero time to talk about Tyrone. You need to be worried about your fashion show. And that is my review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe. If you don't worry about it. Thank you for stopping by anyway. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.